So before somebody says, hey, you know, you're just like trying to play as a victim or whatnot, I'm not. The thing is, I've been experiencing this for 10 years and I've said nothing, right? Until now, because I want to quit using Facebook because I know how they run now. It's like, Facebook's always been like, oh, we remove hate speech and racism and stuff like that, right? They act like this white knight. And then when you ask them or tell them, hey, there's somebody that's being racist or hate or something like that, they don't really care. Well, actually, they care depending on which group, right? If you're part of the anything else other than being East Asian, right? They care. But if you're East Asian, they don't care. They're like, yep, you could just step on them. That's pretty much how it works. And Facebook employees have done this for about 10 years that I've noticed because I have two accounts. First of all, I have like a really English name, right? I mean, my name's already pretty English, right? But the thing is, I have a more English name and I have a white person on my profile picture. While this one, I have an Asian picture, right? So, I have never got restricted on this fake profile. And what happens is, no matter how off I go, and I know I'm going off, I never get restricted, right? You never get flagged, never get anything. But here, let me show you on this account. This is the one where I have my Asian picture. I get restricted. I get like the spam kind of thing for the dumbest thing ever. I mean, in my previous video, I got like I got a spam notification after 2 years after I shared a post about a freaking the rarest steaks in the world. Like literally like beef, like the type of like wagyu and stuff like that. So I got a spam notification for sharing that post to my friends. Yes, to my friends. I mean, I'm like sitting there. Are you serious? And this is like 2 years later, right? The video is already removed and everything. I don't know what happened to it. Maybe they closed it. I don't know. But this is like 2 years later. But anyways, so I'll show you that a bit later. So I had this recent comment, and this is not something that is not uncommon. I mean, I see this like every time I get into an argument or maybe a disagreement or I'm trying to correct somebody, right? I always get these racist comments as well. I feel that is racist. Anyways, so this person doesn't really know what I mean. Their English is so horrible, right? I don't understand what the hell they're saying. Right here, let me just go here. Like this thing, I don't know what she is saying. Something about the top sentence I don't really understand, but I'm pretty sure she's like, go back to Korea, you freeloading foreigner bum welfare twat. And if you said that to somebody, right, that is in this protected group, I'm pretty sure that if you called them a foreigner, a bum, a welfare, freeloading, like all these things into one word, right? And the second part is go live an authentic, genuine life in your own country, bum. And I'm pretty sure this is considered sort of racist, kind of hate, right? And I basically said, like, this person looks like she has mental illness. Honestly, I said she was very uneducated and she sounded like a Karen. And then she goes on, and you know, this is where it's the same thing. Go back to Korea and live a genuine life where you belong. I mean, can you imagine that if you remove Korea and put in like a Muslim country or something, you immediately get restricted, right? And I did report this, and I got to say that they don't really care. Anyways, of course, there's more to go, but let's go on to the next comment. All right, so it goes on. I don't even know what you're writing in me. Your English is so bad. It's funny how racist people have low IQ and low education. So it goes on, and this person's like, keep harassing me. I'm pretty sure she wanted to write, quit harassing me, stalker, freeloading, foreign alien, welfare, rat. I think that's what they wanted, rat. They wanted to call it a rat. Anyways, so, her entire sentence, first of all, it doesn't even make sense. I don't even know what she's writing sometimes, but, you kind of get a sense of what she's writing. And now she's like, hey, uh, I'm stalking her and harassing her. I mean, she's like, if you read my comments, basically, I am not like I'm just commenting, right? I mean, I am not attacking anybody, and she's really the one that's harassing me. Like, it is very interesting that Facebook allows this, and if it was reversed, right, you would get in trouble. You get in, like, if I posted that, I guarantee you, I will get restricted the next minute. But for somebody with a white person in the profile picture, I guess it's because of that they don't get restricted. I mean, I've gotten restricted for posting much less, for posting something that makes like, you know, I'll show you a bit later on. But anyways, and she keeps on like I'm just writing like one or two sentences. You are the one harassing people, right? She's writing whole sentences of harassment and hate speech and racism and every other thing, and Facebook's like, yeah, that's totally fine, right? Because it's towards an East Asian or Asian. I don't know. I mean, I guess they're kind of racist towards most of Asia because they have a conflict between Russia and China now. So, anyways, we go on, and you know, I tell her to read her own comments before calling others' name because you're calling them all this thing, right? And you're the one that is being very obnoxious. Anyways, I said that she's not even native Indian, right? She's telling me to go back to Korea when she's not even native to the country, right? And she's not even native, and she's telling me to, I don't belong here, and I'm a foreigner. I mean, yeah, I'm thinking in my mind, like, what is this? 2050, 20? I mean, no, my bad. 1950, 1920. What are we in the 1900s or something? Anyways, I say that the difference is I'm educated enough to make reasonable reasons for disagreements, whereas you believe you stand on a higher hierarchy due to your race. And I'm surprised that Facebook allows these racist comments. And then she keeps on going, and she's like, stop stalking me and harassing me. She's the one like sitting there and harassing me, calling me names, telling me I'm a foreigner, telling me to go back to this Korea, telling me to go here and there, and all these races, bigot, whatever you want to call it. I don't even use those words. But if this was a left and right situation, right? In you know, in this democratic society, if this was a left and right situation, I guarantee you the right person would be censored for saying that. But I don't like now she's saying it to me, you don't see her getting censored. Why? Right? It makes no sense. And there's a reason for that. All right. So now that we're here, I want to talk about how this thing really is the thing that ticked me off and why I'm quitting Facebook. Because look at this. Your comment goes against our community standard on spam. And you go down to this thing, and I was reading this article. It was very, this article came out not too long ago, right? About a passenger screaming at another passenger, I guess the parents of a kid that was crying. And I remember reading another article, which was also on Facebook, saying this Korean family brought like a bag of earplugs and treats for every passenger on the plane. So if the kids start screaming, right, they could use the earplugs. And they apologize, and everything. It seemed pretty like a pretty decent thing to do, right? So that's what I posted. I read about some Korean proactively buying every single passenger earplugs and treats, knowing they would have a baby or child on board. So this is what happened. You can look it up, right? Perhaps parents can learn from others that they are responsible for their children and their actions. Now, this first of all, this is nothing about spam. There's much more comments in there that is spam, right? But somehow I'm the one that got flagged and got restricted. And this is obviously clearly Facebook, right? I mean, you don't see them restricting something that is really genuinely abusive and in violation of their community standards. But no, they want to selectively, right? Selectively restrict me or that's why you don't see many Asians posting, because they get restricted for being Asian, I'm assuming. But what the hell? Like, my comment was not a spam. That's the first thing. Second thing, it was just, it was about an article about another person, except they're just Asian, uh, that also had a child that was boarding a plane, and they did something different opposed to somebody that just let their child scream and yell and cry and everything and bothered the other passenger, and basically said, hey, you got to endure this pain because they're my child, right? So, you know, I get restricted for a very simple post, while other people don't. And I cannot figure out a reasonable explanation for this. The only reasonable explanation for this is that whoever is behind the monitoring this, right? Even if it was an AI, or actually they don't have AIs, but even if it was the programming. Let's say some people say, hey, there's these programmings that select the thing. Well, they have to program it, right? So they have to program it to selectively select certain comments. You don't see them programming that woman's comments being racist or abusive or something like that, right? And I just don't like how Facebook or most of these social medias that want to say, hey, we're this good guy, and they're not doing anything that is good. So as you can see, I reported this person's comment, right? And telling you to go back to Korea, you foreigner. And, look at all these reports here, right? The content doesn't go against our community standards, right? I mean, if I were to post the exact same thing, it would go against the community standard. We've taken a look and found that this content doesn't go against our community standards. Again, it's all right. So I got a bit lost there, but look at it. Update about this person reporting this thing about, you know, again, right here, right in the middle. We've taken a look and found that this content doesn't go against our community standard. If it was me, right? If I posted something like that, I guarantee you it will go against their community standard. Again, I am glad Facebook is laying off people, because and I'm gonna close my account, because there's no reason for me to not keep the account. Facebook themselves, the people in charge, are racist themselves. I mean, if this was again a post about anybody else, any other, let's say, country or any other ethnicity, you get into problems. But somehow about Korea or anything in the East Asian sector, no, Facebook's like, we don't care about you, We don't care if people are racist against you. It doesn't matter. Actually, that's our objective. So that's Facebook.